What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be adding some Mame Bezels, and basically these are the artwork that appear on the left and right of the screen so that it fills out the black bars that you would normally get there. Now on my systems, I include a generic bezel for all of the games that basically just says Mame on it, and the reason is because these bezels do take up space. This pack here is going to be around 4 gigs or so. And, in the past I used to include them, then I got rid of them because I figured let me use that valuable space for actual games and whatnot and leave some of the eye candy off. But we're going to be adding those back in today. So this is a very easy update, as usually all the updates are, but this one you don't even have to do anything manually. So before we apply the update though, I want to show you guys what it looks like now, and then we'll take a look at what it looks like after the update. So I'm just going to start up 1942 here as an example. And you can see that it has the generic bezels that just say Mame. Let me do something else, Street Fighter 2. And, just to show off a horizontal game on this one. And there you go, you have the generic bezels. Okay, so now let's go ahead and apply the update and we'll take a look at what it does afterwards. But before we get started, I do want you guys to back one thing up. So I want you to go over to the Start menu, Computer, and then go ahead to the D drive and go to Arcade. Go over to Rocket Launcher, Profiles, WinIPAC, Xpatter, not WinIPAC, Xpatter, and then go down to Mame. Look for Mame. You can actually just press M. Here it is. And I want you to rename this one here to Mame.old. Like that. Hit enter on that one. And the reason you want to do that is just in case something goes wrong or anything, you're going to have a backup. These are your profiles for the controller, for the Xbox 360 controller. And you're going to have a backup of those if the new ones don't work for you. If you have a really old system of mine or anything like that, then these new profiles might not work for you. So if they don't, you can just simply delete the new folder here once it's created, and then come back and rename this one to Mame, and everything will be back to normal. Okay, so that's what that's for. All right, so once you back this folder up, you're ready to go. Now, as usual, you want to download the update from the link that I will post over in the private customers Facebook group. I've saved it to my D drive, so I'm going to go to Computer here, D drive, and there is the update. Now, you don't have to download it on this PC. You can download it on another PC if you want to, or anywhere. But it's always best to throw it over here into the D drive. However, if you don't, just make sure that when you double click it, and you double click this folder again, make sure you click the white space so nothing is highlighted. When you go to extract, mine defaults to the D drive because it's already in the D drive. If yours is on a thumb drive or anywhere else, you're going to want to specify that. So you click this button here, you select Arcade D and hit OK, and you should end up with D right there. Then you can go ahead and click OK, and it's going to extract all of the contents to the correct directories. So we're going to go let this finish, and I'll come back once that is done. Okay, and we're back. That took about 5 minutes. So now that everything is extracted, we can go ahead and close 7-zip, and we can delete the file that you downloaded because everything has been extracted and we no longer need that. And make sure to empty out your trash so that space, you gain that space back. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and go back into Rocket Launcher now, and we're going to try out 1942 again like we did before. And you're going to see that now it has a nice bezel for the actual game. And there you go. And it actually has a few available bezels. So what I've done, and the reason you needed to back up that folder before is because I had to create all new profiles for the Xbox controller so that you're able to cycle through the different bezels. So if, let's say, some random game that you play comes up and you don't like the way the bezel looks, you can switch it to another one. And the next time you start the game, it will remember that choice. So it will keep the same one that you selected from that point forward. Okay, so to do that, you want to hold the back button on the Xbox 360 controller, and your left bumper and right bumper are going to change and cycle through the bezels. So left bumper is to go to the previous one, and right bumper is to go to the next one. Now, sometimes it might seem like the bezels are not changing because some of them are very similar with minor tweaks, and also sometimes you have to do it a few times before the new bezel shows up. So just keep that in mind. And for those of you guys that are using, keyboard-based devices like Xarcade or anything like that, you're just going to have to do this on the keyboard. The keys to change the bezels are Z for previous bezel and X for next bezel. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. I'm going to change it to a different bezel now. And that looks like it stayed with the same one, but then again, it could be very minor differences, so I'm not sure. Let's try it again. And we're going to try it again. And there you go. Finally, you got a new one. Now we're going to try one more time. And you can see that this one actually looks like it's the same as before, but it's not. In the previous one, the girl's arm wasn't visible. It was behind the border there. And on this one, it's not. So that's what I mean. You have very minor changes sometimes from one bezel to the other. So anyway, let's say you land on this one. Now you like this one. You want to keep it. You don't have to do anything. You just leave it there. Next time you start the game, it'll show up with this same bezel loaded. All right, so let's go ahead and try a different game. Let's try Street Fighter 2 like we did before. And there you go. So I'm going to change it by holding back and pressing left bumper at the same time. Again, these are different minor tweaks. Let's go to the previous one to see if I can tell the difference. So yeah, if you look at the right side, those two pictures up there of Blanca, and so if you press to the next bezel, just pay attention to those. They're gonna get smaller, I believe, on this next one. Yep, see, so it's very minor. So do it again. Again, it's a different version of the same artwork. There you go. Now it completely changed. So let's say you like this one, you just leave it alone, and next time you load the game, it'll show this same bezel again. And just remember that every game does not have a specific bezel for it. So in the case of a game that does not have an original bezel available, you're just going to get that same old, generic Mame bezel that shows up. So just keep that in mind. But there's a lot of them that do have the bezel available. So it's just a nice addition. If you don't mind, wasting some space for the sake of the artwork. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.